Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Mayhem right here on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Golem MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Floyo, Michael Bullock, and Dee Dee Woodson. Hey, the gang's all here for one night. So, all right. As you know, we were going to talk about both AEW and NXT. However, NXT tonight did a lot of promo work, a lot of vignettes, profiles about certain wrestlers, and there was no live wrestling. There was no in-ring action. Because of that, we've decided to give NXT an NR, a no rating, and we will not be covering them tonight. Out of respect, we do want to talk about actual wrestling that went down, and we did have it in AEW. So with that said, we're going to start it off with AEW Dynamite, which tonight actually emulated, like I said, from a closed location. It was called the Daily Place, which is in Jacksonville, Florida. And, we started off with a little bit of a conversation, and, they were talking about, a lot of things that were going on. We did get into the actual in-ring action, and we started it off versus the Best Friends. And at the end of the fight ended in 13 minutes and 21 seconds, and the Lucha Bros won the match. So it was a good match, no doubt about it. It was a very good, solid fight. It was definitely enjoyable. I think the end of the way that the match went, it went pretty well. So I think there was really nothing. It was 3.5 stars. 3.5 stars is my overall rating. There wasn't really much of a crowd in this fight. I don't know if there was an actual audience for the show. I don't believe so. That's the one thing that was lacking in AEW, the lack of the crowd or anything like that. Now, if there was friends and family whooping it up, doing that for the show, then great. And I think AEW does have, I don't know how they found a loophole in that, but it was good. The wrestling was fine. I got really nothing bad to say. So, Anthony, it's yours.
Well, I'll tell you, MF. Here's the thing. There was some things they actually did. Some of the wrestlers were actually sitting in the crowd, so there was somewhat of a crowd. But they were AEW wrestlers. On one side of the arena, you had primarily heels, and on the other side, you had primarily baby faces. I know on one side you had MJF, you had Wardlow, Sean Spears, Tully Blanchard, just to name a few, and Brandy Rhodes, for the first time since she was Eden Styles in WWE, actually served as the ring announcer for the show this evening. No Justin Roberts. I'm sure he probably got impacted by all the nonsense going on lately, but is what it is. But anyways, I agree with MF's rating, 3 to 3.5 stars. I mean, having some of the wrestlers at ringside helped a lot. They were making noise and helping to keep the atmosphere light. And it was also wise to keep the hard camera pointing at the stage instead of a group of empty seats behind the ring. As time went on, more wrestlers could be seen occupying seats around the ring. Jurassic Express were there trying to hype up the Best Friends while the heels cheered for the Lucha Bros. This was the kind of strong tag team wrestling we have come to expect from AEW. There were some questionable moments, but they did not ruin the match in the end. So that's all I can say on that. There were actual wrestlers sitting in the crowd. So that's what happened, MF, if you were wondering.
That's actually something a la what you see in independent wrestling. A lot, and I want to chime in on this because I think it needs to be addressed. Because if that is what happened, that's a harken back to And this actually makes me very happy because I see a lot of people do that for a lot of the RWA shows back when it first started. Now they've become really big in Rhode Island and in New England. They're a big company now. But RWA, when it was back in the old chop shop back in Providence, a lot of the wrestlers used to sit in on their matches or sit in the crowd as well. So it's kind of a harken to that as well. So I'm pretty pleased with that.
Yeah. So that's the story there. With all that being said, looking at the grand scheme of things, I'll give it 3.5 stars, and I'll even go as far as to call it the fight of the night, if I'm going to be honest with you. So that's all I can say on that. So I'm not going to say between. I'm going to give it the full on rating here, 3.5 stars. That I believe is the correct rating for this match. So solid way to start after that very good segment beforehand, that heartfelt moment with Cody and the Elite there, which I thought came out really well. So yeah, so nothing more to say. Phenom, Michael Bullock, come on in. Great way to start off the in-ring action on this empty arena AEW this evening.
Yeah, I mean, this was definitely a great way to start off. I like the heartfelt promo with Cody and the Elite, and yeah, I'll give it about 3.5 for the match here. I mean, and I'll be quite honest, guys. I think the Lucha Bros really needed this victory because, I mean, for some reason they're not even ranked in the tag team division in AEW, which I don't understand why. Because of their ability. But trust me, I mean, if they can get on a nice win streak, they can climb up in the rankings in AEW. So that's how I see it. So, and the Lucha Bros got the nice win here. So, yeah, and I do like how they had some of the wrestlers in the crowd. I mean, in the seats, just some atmosphere. So, nothing more to say. DD Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, this was a very good opening match for AEW. Very energetic. Yeah, they had the wrestlers in the crowd, so that made it, a little more enjoyable. So yeah, I'm gonna give it 3.5 stars. I don't have anything negative to say. You guys pretty much touched on it, so let's move on.
Women's tag team match. It was Rio and Chris Statlander versus Haruka Shada and Penelope Ford. Hello. And it was a fatal 4-way. And when it was over, Shadada wins the match. 8 minutes and 56 seconds. Anthony Florio, it's all yours. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you corrected yourself, MF. I was about to, like I always do. Yes, it was a fatal 4-way match. Hikaru Shida, that's the young lady's name there. Penelope Ford, Riho, Chris Statlander. Solid 3-star match. It was a fun bout. Penelope Ford. Now I know I've gone on and on about her beauty, but and rightfully so. But when it comes to her in-ring ability, she was especially impressive in this bout with some of her acrobatics. However, as impressive as Superbad was, Penelope going from the first bout and the post-match interview with Cole Cabana with Tony Schiavone was a funny way to end the segment, and he got into it with Kip Sabian, rightfully so. Don't know why he was out there, but it is what it is. Should not have been. That's just my personal opinion. So, but anyways, 3-star match, and I'll tell you what. You remember back on New Year's Day when they were in that very venue, there was a women's 4-way, and they tore the house down. But that one on New Year's night, that one was better. But this one, I mean, if given more time, could have been up there. But 3 stars. So that's all I can say on that. And I think Hikaru Shida I think they're grooming her to be Nyla Rose's next challenger for the AEW Women's Title, and that's a very intriguing matchup. So, no question about it. Michael Bullock, come on in. I know many of times on this program we poo-pooed all over the women's division of AEW, and rightfully so because of meh matches, but this is one of the rare times I think we should give him a pass. This was a solid match, 3 stars.
Yeah, this wasn't even a meh match. It was solid. I mean, 3 stars. I agree with you. Yeah, Shida, I think, should be the next challenger for Nyla Rose's AEW Women's World Title. But yeah, Penelope Ford. I mean, I liked her in-ring ability. I mean, and yeah, I mean, I don't know why the heck Kip Sabian was out there. He had no business being out there.
Kip Sabian was there for Penelope Ford.
Well, I know, but he actually got involved. That was the one thing I didn't like about it. It just rubbed me the wrong way with him being there.
Amen.
Kind of like yeah. And speaking of that, Florio, it's kind of like what we saw with the that women's tag team match on SmackDown with the Fire and Desire and was it Dana Brooke and Carmella?
Dana Brooke and Carmella and Dolph Ziggler got involved.
Dolph Ziggler was out there, and
yes.
And both you and I, when we had our SmackDown chat, we were like, "Why the hell is he out there?"
Yeah,
that's how you said it. I went into my phone on Jesse. What's the purpose of this?
Yeah, you could. Yeah, to me, it's sort of like that. What we saw here.
Really?
Yeah. So, I mean, the match was good. I could have done without Kip Sabian being out there and getting involved. That's just how I feel. So, yeah. So there's really nothing more to say. I mean, that's my only nitpick. So, Dee Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely 3 stars. It was a fun match overall. Yeah, it was kind of annoying having Kip getting involved. But of course, there at the end when they did the interview with Colt, that was kind of cool to see that little transaction get involved there. I mean, I'm with the guys. I don't like the extra interference. I mean, it's okay if he wants to be out there, but don't get involved in the match. Let them take care of the match for themselves. I mean, that's what she's supposed to be out there doing. That's what she's supposed to be out there doing, is taking care of it for herself. If he wants to be out there as a cheerleader, fine. But don't get involved in the match. That's not right. So, I mean, that just makes everything cheaper. So, yeah, at least she didn't come out on top in the end, so it didn't make it a cheap win for her.
No.
But still, he got caught several times by the ref getting involved, trying to help her do pins, and I'm kind of glad he did get a knee in the face from one of the girls. I mean, that was good.
Was it Karushita that leveled him with the knee to the face, or was it Statlander that lowered the boom on him?
I think both of them did.
Oh, both of them did, yeah.
I think it was Riho.
I think everybody got a shot in.
Yeah.
And then Colt Cabana got a nice shot on him at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As Cabana was bad-mouthing him during his Cabana was bad-mouthing Sabian while he was interviewing with Tony Schiavone.
Yeah, so he definitely got what he deserved from the other ladies for getting involved. But yeah, I definitely 3 stars. And it, like I said, it was fun, but we don't need the extra interference jumping in. So yeah, not much more I'm going to say. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, all right. I agree with that. 3 stars, no doubt about it. It was sloppy at times, but they worked hard to put a good match. I'll say this: the women's division has gotten a little more better. And Anthony, you're right. Penelope Ford, I've gotten to see her in more than just AEW. She's wrestled in some other federations, and she's got the goods. She is good. So yeah, it was good. It was fine. Nothing more to say. Next up, we got was Jurassic Express. And they went up against the Butcher and the Blade in a tag team fight. And when it was all said and done, the winners of the bout in 13 minutes and 11 seconds, Jurassic Express wins the match. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I'll give this about another somewhere between 3.5 for the effort. I mean, I'll tell you what. I mean, the Jurassic Express continues to really impress me. I mean, when it comes to this, I mean, everybody thought that everybody didn't take this team lightly, but yeah, I mean, this is they continue to really impress me. And of course, you can also say the same for the Butcher and the Blade. But guys, I think I realized something during the match. You had the Butcher and the Blade, but somebody was missing.
No bunny.
The bunny wasn't there.
The bunny, yeah, the bunny was not there.
Why?
Me not know.
Well, do you think? And this is just my guess. Do you think maybe she was
Impacted?
because of what's been going on?
Very likely. Justin Roberts wasn't there either.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just guessing.
True. I mean, or they probably, or maybe because, well, maybe she just couldn't get to Florida. Maybe they I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. That's definitely a good question. Maybe they just couldn't get them to Jacksonville tonight. Yeah, Butcher and Blade were there. There was definitely a noticeable miss. We know when the Cottontail Beauty's not there. That's definitely a tragedy in itself.
Yeah. So yeah, but other than that, I enjoyed it. So yeah. So there's really nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Oh, brother.
Oh boy. Dee Woodson, tell me you did not just say that.
What? Dee, what? What did we do?
What did we do wrong?
What?
This is what happens. This is what happens when you have a female doing a show with a bunch of single men. All they talk about is the missing woman that was there.
One of us is actually spoken for. So actually, one of us actually has somebody in our lives. But two of us, you can agree. But one is actually spoken for.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, Dee. You know it's me.
Yeah, I know. I've seen plenty of pictures of you and her. So yeah, I know.
So yeah. I think where I think you have to leave me out of it.
Well, still, I mean, come on. That's the one thing everybody notices is that she's missing. I mean, they don't notice the fact that MJF gave money to Butcher and Blade to try to get them to win the match and all this other stuff. You all notice that the female is not there. Oh, brother. Whatever. Okay. I'm going to give it 2.5 stars. It was solid. It was a pretty good match, but the ending was just kind of off on it. And yes, she wasn't there. Okay. It's been said. We're not going to talk about the fact that she's not there anymore. We're going to talk about the match. It was nice to see these guys. I mean, they look like they really kind of took it hard on each other. I mean, some of those hits were pretty hard. So yeah, I'm not going to say too much more on it. But yeah, it was very noticeable though that MJF was definitely behind the
He
Butcher and
stuck
the
his
Blade on
nose.
this one.
He stuck his nose where it didn't belong. No, no
Yeah,
doubt about it.
yeah,
Come on. We get it. We get it. We're a wrestling show here.
yeah,
We'll call it. We'll call it out.
yeah.
Obviously, MJF got involved. We saw that. It's just we got to get at least a little bit of the comedy relief. Yes, the bunny was missing, and yes, for Anthony Floyer and for myself, we both were bitterly weeping not seeing the bunny out there. But let's call what we call. Yes, MJF did kind of give a little bit of the 20 cents or whatever the money he was given. It looked like a good $100, but still, they definitely had the money. They definitely were trying to work, and it didn't work. It backfired on them. Just like when Kip Sabian was trying to help Penelope Ford, MJF tried to help Butcher and Blade, and it backfired on him. It blew up right in his face. So Jurassic Express gets the big win here. It was a 2-star fight for me. Really nothing more to say. Anthony Floyo, it's yours.
2.5 stars. That's the correct rating for this. By default, it was the worst fight of the night. The match was fine, but it was about as predictable as it could be. The Butcher and the Blade played good heels, but they did not do enough to stand out from the other heel teams in AEW. Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus are always fun to watch, even without Marco Stunt there to provide his usual antics at ringside. This kept the show moving in the right direction. It just didn't do enough to advance any storylines or make anyone look better than they did before the bout. So that's all I can say on that. 2.5 stars, and by default, the worst fight of the night. So, MF, it's back to you.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And the next thing that we do have on the show tonight, the Dark Order. They were gonna. The Evil Uno spoke about the promise of the Exalted One. SCU came out, and basically Christopher Daniels pretty much called it. He's like, the Exalted One is a lie. And well, the Exalted One, it revealed himself. It was none other than Brody Lee. That's right. Brody Lee, the one-time Luke Harper of WWE, is in AEW. He is the Exalted One for the Dark Order. Dee Woodson, it is all yours.
I really hope they don't play this as a spin-off of the Wyatt family or something like that. Seeing as that's where we got Luke Harper, was with Bray Wyatt's faction. Now he's the head of this faction, and I'm hoping that we get to see his actual brains, and not what we always saw before, where he was the follower. He was he wasn't thinking for himself. He was using everybody else. I hope we actually get to see something good out of this. I mean, there was a lot of rumors as to who was this exalted leader. There was stock footage of Raven sitting behind the Dark Order in one show. You had them saying lines that Matt Hardy would say, giving that tease that it would be Matt Hardy that would be the exalted leader. Then they came up with it being Luke Harper, and then of course it did end up being him. So yeah, this is going to be an interesting new role, and I think it fits for him for the way his character has been, because he's always been the heel character. So this will be good. I just hope that it's, like I said, not a spin-off of what we get from WWE. So yeah, compared to the segment at the beginning of the show, I mean, this was just pretty much kind of close to that same level. So yeah, not much more I'm going to say. It's yours, Fletch.
I think I pretty much said everything on our Facebook chat when I pretty much open fired on AEW. you're basically saying everything that I was saying. You're basically saying everything that I kind of put into words about it. And yeah, I opened fired on it. If this was the big reveal that this was your exalted one, I'm sorry, AEW, swing and a miss. Strike one in my mind. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy that he's here. I'm happy that he's in. But for everything that you laid this out, the Dark Order was talking high praise about the Exalted One. And Brody Lee is the best you got as your Exalted leader? Give me a break. Get out of here. Anthony, go.
Well, that's one man's opinion, if I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think it was as bad as you think it was, MF. I mean, I know you don't like it, but you can't please everybody. But here's the thing. The two top names everyone kept talking about for this role were Brody Lee and Matt Hardy. Most people assumed it would be Hardy, so it was a nice surprise when the former Wyatt family member revealed himself. This went about as well as it could without a crowd to give the reveal a pop. Lee is going to be an interesting addition to the Dark Order, especially if AEW follows through and makes them a big deal. This opens up the door for a lot of interesting possibilities. So, I know MF didn't like it, but, it is what it is. But I don't think it came off as bad as you think it did. I mean, they threw a curveball here. I mean, this was not as predictable as you thought. So, the only difference was, with this debut and another debut that we're going to get into in a bit, the only downside was there was no live crowd that they could have played off of this, because both of them could have been hot angles. But, it is what it is. So, but anyways, solid and fine for me. So, and a nice little curveball. So, nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, do you agree with me, or are you going to poo-poo all over like MF just did?
Sorry to do this to you, Florio, but I'm with Fletch on this one. I mean, you build this whole thing with the Exalted One and the Dark Order, and this is the best you come up with. I mean, I was expecting someone even better than that. If this is what we get. Give me a freaking break, AEW. That was a freaking swing and a miss. So, and as the old meme that we used to have on Mimi Jean, I think there's one you would like, Florio. Bret Hart, not impressed.
Not impressed. Yep.
Well, we're going to have one for MF and we're going to have one for Michael Bullock, obviously.
Yeah, it's MF and Michael Bullock. Not impressed. Sorry. You screwed this one up big time, AEW, and I'm not happy about it. Yeah, you screwed it up, so nothing more to say. So it comes down to Didi. Did Didi Whitson already talk about it?
I believe Didi led off. So,
and I think she was more on our side, right?
Yeah, I mean, she was kind of on the fence about it. I mean,
yeah, I'm willing to give it a chance. I mean, no, yeah. I'm not crazy about the fact that it was him, but I'm willing to give it a chance. So
she's kind of in between. She's kind of more leaning the Florio
in the middle.
She's in the middle. She ain't going. Yeah. She's not going one way or the other. Which I get it. That's fair enough.
Yeah.
My mentions were very clear. I already knew where I went on that. And, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Like we said, we'll give it a chance. Finally, we had, after a few promos, the main event, Inner Circle versus the Elite, which I believe this was, Adam Hangman Page, Nick Jackson, and Cody Rhodes versus Santana, Ortiz, and Jack Hager, 6-man tag. And when it was all said and done, the Inner Circle takes it down. 26 minutes and 12 seconds. All right. I'm going to say this. Very good main event. But, and I'm going to say this, and I know I'm going to get, some heat for this, but I don't give a damn. The match never really clicked for me. I mean, the finish was bad because of the bad camera work. And I think they actually missed a moment. I think Adam Hangman Page might have screwed up. Now, to get Matt Hardy out, because Matt Hardy did show up, and he's going to work, and it was great. That was amazing. And for AEW, it was a good ending to a very interesting show. I could get this easily 3.5 stars, 3 to 3 and 3.25. That's not a problem. But I just thought that the match itself, if this would have been with a live crowd, oh my God, this would have been 4, 4.25, maybe 4, 4.25. This is about 3 3/4 because of no crowd. They did their body of work. It looked good. I just don't know if it really is going to help. But here's the thing. We kind of have to wait and see how this is going to play out. But Matt Hardy's there. And here's the thing. The Inner Circle will have a one-man advantage going into Blood and Guts next week. So we'll wait and see how this plays out. But, well, it's going to be very interesting to say the very least. But
Hey, Fletch, they did say that they thought Omega would be cleared by next week.
So they hope Omega will be cleared. So
they're saying he should be. So they're still saying it should be a 5-on-5. So
5-on-5, yeah, because right now it's 5-on-4. But with Matt Hardy now there, could Matt Hardy become the 5th guy? Because think about it. Young Bucks, Cody, Adam Hangman Page, that's 4. Could Matt Hardy become the 5th? He could replace Kenny Omega. Omega's definitely not at 100%. And if you've been watching Being the Elite, he has been injured. So we'll see. We'll see. We got nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Yeah. 3.25 stars for me, if I'm going to be honest. I agree with MF. The beginning of this segment highlighted just how much fun the AEW stars were having while making the best of a bad situation. Surprisingly, Jericho downplayed his heel status a bit on commentary and put over the AEW team, and even acknowledged how good Cody is in the ring. These are 6 talented wrestlers. All of the action was good, but the match felt like it lasted one segment longer than it should have. At the end of the segment, Vanguard 1 showed up to introduce Matt Hardy as a member of Team Elite to end the show on a bit of a cliffhanger. So it's a 3.25 star effort for me. But here's the thing, though. They did not necessarily say next week. They said on the next Dynamite. Let's be careful to point that out. They did not necessarily say next week. So we need to keep an eye on this. So that's all there is to say. 3.25 stars for me. Did Bullet go or?
Mike's got to go.
Okay. So Bullock, it's yours. 3.25 stars. Remember, they did not say next week. They said on the next Dynamite. Let's make that clear.
Yeah, because we don't know what's going to happen come next week. So, yeah, so 3.25 stars. I do agree. I mean, I think it was because of the way the match got started. It did take something away from it, but yeah, I think it looks like Matt Hardy's going to be part of the Team Elite. Like you said, if Kenny Omega can't go, but we'll wait and see on that. So there's really nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Okay, during the Dark Order segment, right when they were announcing who the leader was, Matt Hardy dropped the finale of his Free the Delete series. Now, if you've been following that has led all the way up to this that we have tonight on AEW. Because the last one, episode 11, I believe it was, you had the Young Bucks actually show up on Matt Hardy's Free the Delete series, and they were the ones that was supposed to bury Matt Hardy and that persona that he was. So tonight he debuted a new persona, and on that show he said to Vanguard to take him to his Armageddon, and the new persona is Arcadia. Okay, excuse me. Take him to his new Arcadia, and the new persona is called Damascus. So apparently that series is somehow connected to this. And since Matt Jackson said I called in a favor, more than likely he's the one that's going to be replacing Nick because Nick's out. So we'll have to see what happens. But I'm pretty sure, that we've got that 5-on-5 going on. And of course, those who also know, if you watched Impact before, Rebby plays the piano, so she was playing the music for Matt when he appeared up there as well. So this is going to be interesting to see what happens here. I like the fact that the blonde has turned red, so you've got the red streak instead of the blonde streak. So because that's supposed to be his scar. If you've gone back and watched anything from like Impact Wrestling and stuff, all this is linked together. I don't know how, but they're all linked together. Because the Impact released a video today showing when the broken Matt Hardy started, and he was talking to Jeff about the scar, and that's when the little yellow streak appeared. So that's apparently the scar from when all this broken universe started. And I mean it's kind of brilliant what that he's come up with. So yeah, I think this is going to be a really good match. My rating is about 3.25 stars. I agree. It probably would have been higher if we would have had more of an audience than what we had. Jericho's expression at the end, seeing Matt Hardy was classic. Love that, the fact that it looked like he saw a ghost standing up there. So yeah, I mean this was good. And my only other gripe is I want to cram those cue cards down Sammy's throat. I'm tired of the cue cards. So yeah.
Who doesn't? Especially with that pretty boy douchebag.
Oh boy.
So yeah, not much more I'm going to say about it. I have a feeling I could take out Sammy. I mean, that guy, he's not worth a dime. I mean, he's so-called pretty boy, but he's not worth a dime. He's just out there because he's riding Jericho's coattails.
That's someone who definitely needs the checkered apron there, Dee Dee.
Oh yeah, I don't think Sammy's got a whole lot of talent. I don't enjoy watching Sammy. I don't, his mouth will get him in trouble one day, and it's going to get him so deep that he's not going to know how to get out of it. He's going to be the Leo Rush of AEW. If y'all remember that when he was tagged with Lashley.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he's going to be the Leo Rush of that. So yeah, it's bad. It's way bad. I mean, you've got great talent in the inner circle, and then you have Mr. Zero that doesn't do squat other than run his freaking mouth. And he already proved tonight that he can't sing.
All right.
Him and MJF, they cannot sing. Don't ever give the two of them a mic again. Don't ever have them sing Judas again. Please don't do that.
All right.
I don't even let them quit their day job because their day job is even worse than their singing. So yeah, it's just I'm done.
Wow.
Just like,
Damn,
like
Dee Dee,
I
tell
just
us
had a
how you really
flashback.
feel.
I just had a flashback to WrestleMania 5 with Jesse the Body Ventura and Rockin' Robin. AMF.
Oh, please.
I think even that was better than hearing these two sing.
All right.
Agreed.
Yeah, I know what Anthony is alluding to about the WrestleMania 5. Rockin' Robin did America the Beautiful. Jesse kind of open fired on her, and
Yeah.
it's a classic moment that me and Anthony likes to recreate once in a rare while. And I'm like, please give me a break.
Audio difficulties as well.
Yeah. Audio difficulties aside, really nothing more to say. We're just gonna move right along. Time for the overall review. Anthony Florio, you lead off. So Florio, give us a rating for AEW.
I'm gonna give this about 7 3/4, teetering on 8 out of 10 for me. Yes, indeed. I mean, we have to commend them. I mean, all kidding aside, I mean, we definitely need to commend AEW for what they did here this evening. I mean, NXT didn't do a damn thing, and you can understand it because it's very hard for them to fill all that time. But who knows what they'll have in store next time around? But you know, it was a really fun show. It felt more organic and loose, you know, than what WWE has been doing. And, you know, and I liked having the talents, you know, serving as a crowd, so to speak. I mean, much like no fans on, you know, in WWE, you know, in Raw and SmackDown and whatnot. And this was a good show. I mean, it had some very good wrestling, some good segments and storyline progression. They made the best of a very difficult situation, or I should say a beyond difficult situation nowadays. The only downsides were debuting Matt Hardy and Brody Lee in front of no fans. Because if there had been crowds for that, then those angles would have been red hot. But, I mean, other than that, though, I mean, AEW took advantage of NXT doing absolutely nothing. So they should be commended for it. I'm reading a lot of stuff on social media. A lot of wrestlers from other promotions and AEW talent alike. Very high praise for this show this evening, and rightfully so. So, not only is it going to be a well done for AEW, but on behalf of all of us here, we want to send out our special thanks to AEW for putting on one hell of a show this evening and giving us, you know, a break from all the madness and all the nonsense that's been going on in this world. Nonsense and madness that I pray to God ends a lot sooner rather than later. So that's all there is to say on that. So we thank you for the much needed distraction. Believe us, we needed it more than words could ever say. So for that, I'm actually going to bump it up. I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10. So well done, and thank you, AEW. Well done. So nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, at a time when we really needed a distraction from all the nonsense in the world nowadays, AEW, they stepped up. They stepped up to the plate, and they knocked it out.
Oh, they certainly did. And I'm going to give it 7.5 to 8 out of 10, too. So I think Florio pretty much spoke for everything that he mentioned. So I'm just going to give it to Dee Woodson.
Yeah, AEW hit it out of the park. This is how you run a show when you don't have to have an audience. You don't go in and show matches that you just showed a few months ago or a few weeks ago. And at least Raw and SmackDown, you had a few live matches that went on during the show. NXT, nothing. They didn't even try. They didn't even try tonight to produce anything for NXT. At least AEW threw something together, and they threw it together to in a way to where we could still have something that we could enjoy. They were all live matches. They didn't re-show, any old matches. And besides, if you're going to show an old match, show something, like Friday was 316 Day. Show something in the past of Stone Cold Steve Austin wrestling. Don't show, the Royal Rumble that just happened in January. I mean, that's still fresh on people's minds. WWE definitely needs to take a page out of AEW's book here. I definitely agree with Florio on the rating. They knocked it out of the park. Yeah, it had some low points, but still, they put the effort in. And that speech at the beginning, just it was not just Cody in character. It was, both sides, Cody in character and Cody, in the boss role that he has for AEW. He slipped back and forth from both. He definitely, laid down the groundwork for a show that, the fans could enjoy, because I'm with Florio. Everything I've seen, that they've poo-pooed all over NXT, and they've pretty much praised AEW, because at least we got a show and something that we can enjoy, something we can watch, something to get our minds off of everything that's going on. So yeah, I have nothing negative to say. Definitely an 8 out of 10 show. So yeah, Fletch, it's yours, and I'm out.
7.5 for me. I thought it was a solid show. Really, nothing bad to say. I thought this was a very good show. Yeah, was it perfect? Absolutely not. But it definitely had more good high points than low points. And, it was enjoyable. I liked it. So I really got nothing else to add. So, yeah, we are done for the night. And tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern, we're back. Yeah, that's right. Strictly Sports. We're going to be focusing on the NFL. Boy, do we got a lot to talk about. I mean, we got some good news for Anthony Florio. We got some great news for me and the Miami Dolphins. Michael Bullock's going to need a hook because, boy, them Patriots, boy, did the castle in Foxborough get raided big time, and then some. So, yeah, we got nothing else to add. So we're going to be talking a lot of NFL tomorrow. Finally, we actually got a show, guys. And who knows how long this is going to be. So we got that. Friday, of course, it's Friday night SmackDown. But we got ourselves a bomb that got dropped earlier today. And I got to say, I just actually got some more intel that just came out within the last couple of minutes I just read. So, yeah. First, WrestleMania. Not going to be at the Performance Center. 2, it's not one night. It's 2 nights now. April 4 and April 5. 3, we got a host. Rob Gronkowski, the Gronk, is going to be invading. And 4, according to Dave Meltzer, multiple locations for WrestleMania. Guys, for the first time in about a long time, about maybe 34 years, WrestleMania is going to be from multiple locations. Where? Who gets WrestleMania? Obviously, are they still going to do Tampa? Is this, what the hell is about to happen with WrestleMania? This is about to be insane. Because 2 nights, that means you're going to overload the fight card. This fight card is going to be nuts. That means maybe the UK gets a touch of this. Do we get NXT and NXT UK to combine forces and give us one full night of WrestleMania? And then the next night is the next part? The odds are endless. I cannot believe WrestleMania is going to be a 2-night event. And we're going to get more details tomorrow. And possibly on Friday, we'll give you all the details. Where they're going to be, what's going to happen, how the hell they're going to pull this off. But then again, I thought about the same thing when, what was it? When Wrestle Kingdom did their show at the Tokyo Dome in January 4, January 5, and it was one of the greatest wrestling events of all time. It was an unbelievable show. Now WrestleMania is about to go 2 nights. I cannot believe this is about to go down. But here we go, folks. Buckle up. It's going to get crazy. Thank you, Anthony Floyo. Thank you, Michael Bullock. Thank you, Dee Woodson. Thank you guys for listening and watching. Like the video, leave a comment at the bottom. Share with all your friends on all social media platforms. And you know the deal, guys. Have a good night. So long for now.